Is the Twitch streaming? Oh, there we go. It wasn't on for me.
There,
I
I think
am taking.
Restream might take a second to load up. Yeah, if I could get a confirmation that Twitch and YouTube are working, because I've got so many windows open right now. Hey, everybody.
YouTube appears to be showing something, but it is a video.
Okay.
Oh no, it's the video that you sent.
Oh, okay.
I'm an idiot. That was. I'm really smart.
No idiots here.
The
Yes.
Twitch is working and I hear audio.
Yay! Cool. I set it up right. It's in general on the Discord, because I don't know it off the top of my head, but it also twitch.tv/Louisville Makes Games should be the way to go. And I'm going to open the Twitch window so that I can see if anybody is... And I'm going to turn the volume off so I don't hear myself. Hi! I see a couple people in there. So hello. Hello. If anybody has any questions, comments, or anything during the jam, or during the during the jam presentations in Twitch, I will be the one watching the Twitch, and I can relay them to the audio, like by saying them. So hey, everybody.
There's a chat on YouTube as well.
Yep.
Hello.
So, how's everybody feel? People who jammed, how do you feel?
Pretty good.
Good. I put together a quick compilation video, and if somebody could play that for me with sound, I will switch the screen to that video. And it's just a little quick 1.5 minute thing that kind of shows some of the progress that people were making and posting in the chat on Discord during the jam. So, Alan or Amanda, can you play that and share your screen for me?
Yeah, I got you. I believe it's this one. Let me know if you can see it.
Yeah, it's coming through. Thank you. So yeah, that's it. I just thought it was really cool how everybody was sharing their progress in that main channel as we were going along, and it was really fun to see all of the different concepts like coming into formation, and like things starting to look like games, and it was just really exciting to watch. Even though I wasn't participating in the jam, I love that everybody was sharing in there. So I think that was a successful part of the jam. Yeah, so if there's anybody in any of the chats or anything who joined this on, they saw it on Meetup or something like that, and you don't know what's going on, Global Game Jam 2021 is the event that we just that just came to a conclusion, and the people who are on Discord here that you see their faces or avatars or whatever, most of them participated in making games in a 4-day or less time period, and so each of the teams we're gonna have the people go through and present what they created, talk a little bit about themselves and their who's on their team. And since this was an all online version of Global Game Jam, like we've never done before, we usually do this in person at our different spaces in Louisville or in Lexington or in Richmond. We combined everybody this year, which was a really awesome idea that some people from Run Jump Dev had. So I think that worked out really well. Yeah, so it's definitely making me think about how we want to do these in the future, because it was cool having everybody combined. But yeah, so yeah, one of the things that I'd like to hear from the jammers is how they felt that things went doing everything online versus the normal way where we meet up in person. And then also remember to mention anything that you learned or anything that you feel that you've improved on skills-wise during the jam. So are there any teams that would like to go first? How many different teams do we have in total? And I know that some people worked on multiple teams, but I know we have at least 3 or 4 games that I saw progress on. Yeah.
I also have one, but I didn't post anything.
Yeah. Well, if you wanna share, feel free to go first if you like.
Do you mean like, would I share my screen? How would I do that?
Oh yeah. So the way that I'm thinking the presentations will go is whoever's presenting, one person on that team will share their screen and show off the game, and the other people on the team can feel free to talk about what parts they worked on while the one person is presenting. And if it's a solo team, then you just have to do it all. So. But yeah,
Gotcha.
share your screen, and then I'll make that the biggest screen on the stream.
So mine is actually multiplayer. Like,
Oh, cool.
like, so I'm not sure the best way to do that.
Right.
I mean, I guess I could load multiple instances. So, or if someone wants to also download it, that's
Yeah,
one
maybe-
way, and I can play with.
Maybe we can get a volunteer to download the game, and then we can have you go a little later on, so we can make sure it's set up.
I'm opening up
Or,
the
yeah, I'll go ahead and post it on my thing, and then I'll send a link to it. And
It sounds like
I guess in the
Alex Garbus is gonna download it.
16. Yeah, I think it supports up to 16, I believe.
Oh wow,
So, all right.
that's awesome. Well, is there anybody who is ready to present on screen share that wants to go next or go first? If not, I'll start calling on people. And if anybody doesn't want to present, that's fine too. It's no big deal. Okay, cool.
So I wasn't really planning on showing a game at all, and I'm still not going to, because it didn't actually get finished at all. So for one second. Sorry, Matt and I are technically in the same room, so I can hear his audio, even if you guys can't. The basic idea is, for one of the projects I'm working on, the Super Soul, is that we are working on a project using ink, and I wanted to mess around with Visual Studio Code and their ink plugin and try to make a game using that. I did not finish a game, I barely started a game, but I made something and I put it up on the website and I figured out that the plugin works, and I'll probably be utilizing that at work. And that is my entire spiel.
Well, that sounds like a success to me.
It's also a good opening, because no matter
Yeah.
what, definitely you did more than anything.
I mean, it sounded like you figured something out that you're able to use for other projects, so that's...
So
This is like
what is
a-
ink?
Sorry. So Ink is a programming language for writers, specifically for narrative games. It was created by the folks at Inkle Studios. The creators of probably their best known game is Around the World in 80 Days. And I think the latest one is Heaven's Vault.
Yeah.
But they make like those narrative games that you can, I think a lot of them came out in mobile form, but it's a narrative scripting kind of language. It's very writer friendly. Like you can look at it and tell exactly what it's doing as a writer without any code knowledge, which is really attractive as someone who hates to code and has never actually installed Visual Studio until Friday. Ever. So.
I try to avoid Visual Studio anyway, but I have different reasons.
Technically, I told Matt I was installing Visual Studio, and he was like, "Oh, don't do that." And he had me install something called Visual Studio Code, which
Yes.
Yeah.
is apparently different. Looks very simple.
Yeah, it's a simpler and better program for most people.
My standard code editor is Sublime. It does not have a plugin for ink, so Visual Studio
Yeah.
Code does.
I use Atom, which is really similar to Sublime, and it doesn't always have plugins for things either. But whatever.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. All right, well, would anybody like to go next? If not, I've got a team in mind.
We can go.
Okay.
We made the Krabby.
That's who I had in mind.
Krabby game. Alright.
Cool.
So should I just? I don't know how to do audio. Is there anything specifically you have to do with that?
When
Or
you
just do your screen, or what's the best way to do it?
if you share your full screen, it should do audio, unless you're on a Mac, which is the problem that I have.
Just gonna do the internet browser.
Yeah, that's working. We can see it now. It's big.
If you're on the stream, make sure to click watch stream.
So we made the game Krabby or Grabby Krabby. It was myself, Waking Forest, and Jason. Okay. I did the Unity / coding part. Tom, Waking Forest, did the arts, and Jason did the lovely music in the background. Hopefully you all can hear it. The part that I learned in this jam was just like having fun with making sounds and adding them to the game. He's kind of didn't have a ton of time to work on it this year with the kiddo, but it was fun. Either one of you all want to talk about something, feel free.
Is there supposed to be sound right now?
Yeah, there's like background noise right now.
It's not coming through on Discord.
Yeah. All right, let me stream settings. Let's see.
I think there's a checkbox for sharing audio, perhaps. I don't remember if that was this or Jitsi.
Let me try to do screen maybe.
I think full screen will share the audio, and if you share a tab, it might not do the audio, but I'm not positive. We'll figure it out together.
Alright, do you hear anything? Oh, the sound just stopped.
I'm still not hearing it. Is another member of the team able to give it a try real quick?
I'm not really set up to be able to share my screen well.
Is it something that I could play and just kind of be bad at? Because my audio works over screen share.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it
it's pretty good. Oh, go ahead.
works in browser, right?
I'm gonna try it with Unity. I don't know if you all can hear me there. I was talking and wasn't highlighting anymore.
I can hear you now since you said that you might try it in Unity.
Yeah. I'm gonna do screen because it's at least mentioned something about audio there. Alright, do you all hear any background noise?
Still not coming through.
Nothing.
Sorry.
Alright. I'm sorry. If anyone wants to hear the sound, feel free to go to the link and play it. But this was just a fun little game. Waking Forest came up with the idea when we saw the theme Lost and Found. We were kind of talking about doing like a side scroller game, so we made a metal detecting guy who is avoiding all these crabs that are greedy and will take your stuff if you if they touch you. So the closer you get to things you can pick up, the more beeping it will do.
And I wish the audio was coming through because the beepings are glorious.
It was definitely the best part of it, for me at least, was making all the noises. So if you have something, it takes it away and then the crab runs. When you're around things that can be collected, if you just stand there for a while, you will start seeing them show up on your screen, like right here, just to help people. So.
Just so you know, he made all the voices by his mouth, so it's all beep 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 beep. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I heard some of it in one of
The
the.
crowds are picking up their own bling.
How did you all decide on rocket boosters instead of legs?
That was on Tom, the glorious artist.
Really saves on animation.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a good way to incorporate cool particles into legs.
Exactly. Not very good with Unity particles either, so that was a challenge.
Of course, the important part in cool particles.
So yeah, there's the game loop.
That's awesome.
Nothing super fancy, but it was fun. We spent a few nights working on it and keeping the kid occupied. He helped me develop it for a few times.
Awesome.
So, all right.
So you mentioned a little bit about you doing the voice sounds. So who did you do the programming also?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I used Audacity
Nice.
for just recording sounds. Just kind of did it like real quick and then just changed like the pitch so it didn't sound like my lame voice. So.
Audacity's great.
I mean, I do professional audio stuff, and I use Audacity for it. It's a great program.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
really
it's super
is.
easy. Export. There we go. Highlight what I wanted. Bam.
There are programs that are that cost hundreds of dollars that are not as good as Audacity. When it comes down to it.
Well, that makes me feel better about using it for everything.
So,
I posted a link to your game in the GPJ 2021 chat.
Awesome,
So
thank you.
people can play it and listen to your audio.
Sounds good. Alright,
Okay.
well,
Awesome.
that's all we had, unless you have any other questions.
I'll just say a little bit about the music, I guess.
Yeah.
I went for general, just kind of like beachy feel, but since the theme was Lost and Found, I decided to take this project and play around with that theme with the music a little bit. So I played around in several ways. Number one, with the instruments coming in and out. Number two, with just the structure of the time spent in each key. So you have 3, 2, 2, 1 in terms of groups of 4 bars that are going on, and then also taking beats from one bar. So it starts off, it's just in this straight 4/4 time, and it keeps going on in straight 4/4 time, and then when you get to the third section, it starts playing Lost and Found with the beats. So you'll suddenly have a bar of 3/4, and then a couple more bars of 4/4, and then a bar of 5/4. So the lost beat gets added back in at the end. So just from a musical perspective, that's just one of the ways I played around with the theme when I was working on stuff for this game. So it was a lot of fun.
Very cool.
That was really cool concept to use that in the music, use the theme in there. That's awesome. Well, cool. Congrats. So, is anybody up for going
I don't know why I
next?
can't talk.
I can hear somebody just say,
That's
"Wonder
also
why I can't
the-
talk."
I posted a link to the my game if someone wants to download it, so we can play multiplayer during my presentation.
Alex, were you able to get that downloaded?
Where's
That's
the link
that's
to
good.
it? Not seeing it. Where was it posted?
Was it in the Discord?
The link within GGJ chat.
Is that the Google Drive
GGJ.
link?
Yeah, it's a Google Drive link. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
Bill.
okay.
Yeah.
Downloading it right now.
I would do it
And
if
it
I
might
wasn't.
take a little while to download, so we can move on.
If I wasn't running the stream, I would participate and try to download it as well. But
Well,
I don't want to
while
mess
that's
anything up.
downloading, I can
Cool.
go next.
All right, Glenn, you're up next.
All right. Let me share my screen. Yes. Select window.
Cool, we could see it.
Okay. Okay. Now, I would say, let me go ahead and paste this link in the GTJ2 2021 chat in case I don't have audio.
I'll copy that onto Twitch as well.
Oh, you beat me to it.
So, alright. I'll run the game. And, can you all hear it?
Not catching any audio from you either.
Wonderful. I'm not sure how to get audio working, frankly. Alan, if you have any insight on that.
I have no clue. I hit the button and it worked.
Maybe the trick is be Alan.
Possibly.
Well, Alan, how about if you played this game and I talked about it while you played? Because I think the sound is really important.
I could do that. Give me a moment, I'll load it up.
Corey, were you on Windows also?
Yeah, I was.
Okay,
Can you
so
see
it,
this?
I thought it first I thought it was. Oh, let me click it. I hear sound. Alan's got the magic computer.
For some reason, is there a way to make this full screen
Okay.
or can I zoom in? Oh, I guess I can zoom in.
No, it's not a full screen experience.
I made it bigger, so.
So I made No More Trouble. And it's a game where you have to find gnomes, and you get points for finding gnomes, or time bonuses if you find them quick enough. And it's, has a bunch of cute characters. And cute music, cute sound effects. I made it with love, of course, and ported it to the web with Love.js, which is an M-scripting port of love for JavaScript.
The flipped colors of the pants and the shirt throw me off every time.
Yeah, so one of the things I learned making this game was how easy it is to implement a random Walter. The gnomes are randomly choosing between 8 different directions and walking in the direction they choose. And they have a random amount of idle time in between choosing directions. But it's a simple switch statement. Or if you want to move it, just a bunch of if-else statements. And if you don't know what a random walker is, there are all kinds of really beautiful visualizations of it on the internet. And that's what the gnomes are doing. I thought about making like the movements with Perlin noise or anything, but this was, just so much simpler and got the job done. And I felt good making this game because a few people have played it already and said it's actually fun. And I'm not in the habit of making fun games, so I'm excited that somebody actually enjoys it legitimately. If I had more time, I'd make animated backgrounds. And all the gnomes are separate sprites. It'd be nice if I could procedurally generate the gnomes, because they're all the same shape, But I didn't worry about writing that code. So... And I'm still not completely convinced that it's a good title. It's sort of a play on words, but I don't know.
I think it's good. It's funny.
It's not easy.
Yeah. So I think I'm fairly proud of this game because it has a level of polish similar to another game I made in the recent past called Plant Party, but it took me 3 months to do that game, and it took me 3 days to make this one. So I think it's a clear indication that I've gotten a little bit better at actually making games. So that's
Yeah, isn't that a good feeling?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So, but I think as far as one of the things I'm most proud of with this game is the sound effect when you find a gnome and you get that time bonus. has a little cuckoo clock sound.
Yeah, it's good. Everything fits really well.
Just went off the screen. There he is.
And there is a bug, I think, where in the web version at least, the sound just kind of stops at some point. I might need to increase the amount of memory that the program is allowed to use. I don't know. But yeah, that's my game.
Nice work.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm trying to find the gnomes.
I keep seeing ones that are like one thing off of the one we're looking for.
Yeah, the one that throws me off the most is when the pants and the shirt are flipped. So it's like, if it's looking for blue pants and a red shirt, it's like, oh, the red one with the red shirt and the blue pants, that's the one.
And like, I think the level of detail in gnomes is like perfect. I thought about having square beards and triangle beards, in addition to all the other colors and skin tones and whatnot. But I was like, it's already hard enough keeping track of like 3 or 4 different components of the gnome that you're looking for. So
that would be like the way to go if you wanted to have like ramping up of difficulty or something, I guess. Is to like have more similarities in the beginning and then make it get like them more different.
Yeah, like
more varied as it goes on.
If they're like, if one of the things I had an idea for is, if I continue working on this in the future, you know, have a game mode where there is no timer, and there's a world that you can pan around with a camera, and there's a lot more gnomes on screen. You're looking for one very specific gnome. A lot more like an actual Where's Waldo.
How many total color options are there for each thing?
I think there's like 9 different gnomes for each color scheme, and there are like maybe 9 different color schemes. Something. There's a total of like 120 something different gnomes.
So, Jamie in the Twitch chat said, I love how the eyes move in the direction they're walking. That was something I noticed too. I like that. And Adam says, it reminds me a little bit of a fleshed out WarioWare game. So that is always a good compliment to something you work on, because WarioWare games are awesome.
I was gonna say, yeah, like there's a game in Gaming Warrior specifically that's very similar to that.
Yeah, I like that. Oh yeah. Well, cool.
Great job. So, who's up next? We've done the crab game. We could do the scary TV game now. We could do
The what scary game?
the scary game with the TVs, or we could do, or Matt, if Matt's ready.
I think people have my game downloaded.
Cool.
Yeah, I got it.
All right. So,
fingers crossed for sound this time.
mine doesn't have much sound, so that's okay if the sound doesn't work. So for mine, I basically set out to learn like multiplayer concepts and stuff with rooms and lobbies and kind of sending information back and forth. I learned how to use Photon Pun with Unity and followed some tutorials there. The game I made does not yet have a win state. It does have a lose state, though.
That's
So,
the priorities.
and it's an asymmetrical game as well. So one player has a different experience than all the rest. Let's see if I can. Not yet. Let me. So how do I share my screen? Am I just gonna do it in Discord?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you all see my screen?
Yeah, coming through.
It's probably going to be hard to see a little bit because I have a wide screen, like one of those super wide screen things. Okay.
It's working okay.
Okay, I'm going to load this up twice. So. Okay. I'm going to create a room, so everyone else that downloaded, if you don't mind clicking find room, okay, and then choosing that one. And I'll go ahead and I'll also.
Oh wow, we got quite a few.
Yeah, looks like it.
Nice.
Everyone here that wants to join. Okay, all right. I'm going to go ahead and start. And so most of the players look like this. We're just a bunch of crew. Everything is dark. You just have a little flashlight. So I didn't do any of the 3D modeling. I just grabbed assets from out there. Let's see. So this is one group. If you are the monster, though, you have a like top-down experience. You can basically see everything. Also, you can. Oh no. I have no idea what just happened, but basically you can eat the people as that monster. You can jump and bite them, and my end state is it just has them quit the game for now. But that's basically it.
It's pretty awesome. Have you done the online multiplayer stuff before?
No, not to that degree. I've done some kind of I've done stuff like multiplayer with Node and things like that, but I've never done multiplayer with Unity.
That's cool. Did you use anything specific, specific tools or plugins or anything, or did you kind of make your own thing, or how did it work?
Yeah, Photon Pun.
Oh, you mentioned that. You mentioned that.
Took advantage.
Cool.
It was pretty cool. It was a lot easier than I thought it would be.
Nice.
So I highly recommend it if you want to add multiplayer to your game.
I think we have a few questions in the Twitch. So the one I see from R25th is, are the physics sent over the network?
The positions are sent. So I don't think I'm calculating. I don't think I'm doing much with actual physics, but basically the transforms of the different game objects are sent over. And also things are sent over if an animation state changes. So if the monster is doing the bite animation, I had to send everything to everyone else to signify this object is doing that bite animation.
Cool.
Seems like there's a lot of stuff to consider when you're making a multiplayer thing. That's cool.
Yeah, a lot of things that I didn't think I'd have to consider as well.
Jamie says, it's very impressive. I love the different perspectives to make it even more asymmetrical.
Yeah, it was fun doing that. One of the techniques I did was the ceiling is all like one object, and I make it so that if you are designated the monster, it just disables the entire ceiling.
That's cool. I like the look of the monster view. The red tint made everything look kind of alien, so it's pretty neat.
Yeah, and there's some wobbliness with the post-processing, like the view gets distorted. It's kind of subtle, so it might not have gone across with the screen share. But
I saw that. Actually, I would love to know exactly what you did with that, because that wavy effect is kind of something that I want to do in something. So, I don't know. It might be something we could use for the heat wave shader, Eric. But yeah, it was cool. And then R25th says, where did the assets come from again?
Just they were just from the Unity asset store. I'll have to, if you're interested, I can kind of hunt them down and kind of show the exact ones. They were kind of meant to be placeholder anyway, though.
What's your ultimate goal with this experimentation with Unity networking?
So the ultimate goal was to make, like, I was kind of channeling like Pitch Black, where the light would damage the monster, and so you're kind of shrouded in darkness, and there's a flashlight, but also there are other items like a scanner that'll like keep it shorter and shorter intervals the closer the monster is to you. But if you're using that, you can't see because the flashlight's not on, and just kind of just basically the heroes would have to defeat the monster with light, and then the monster can just run up behind them and eat them.
Yeah, it's an interesting like genre right now. Like, I'm just thinking about, like, it reminds me of the Alien game that came out not too long ago, but like a multiplayer version of that. And it kind of felt a little bit like oh, what's it called? The one with the astronauts and one person is the murderer.
Among Us?
Yeah, Among Us. There you go. Yeah, so I feel like it would be. I haven't actually played that yet, but I've watched some people stream it. So I think that that having something like this out there, like, people would be into it right now for sure. Mungus. All right, cool. Well, what does that leave us with? Raphael's game? Is that the last one?
I could go next.
Go for it.
Sweet. I'm gonna share my screen. Audio and stuff works. Not sharing for some reason.
Probably have to select a window to share.
Rafa, you have a Mac, right?
I'm on a PC right now.
Okay.
See what's happening. Window won't come to the front.
It's working now. You're good.
Alrighty. So let me so I started off by Google searching how to make a first-person shooter. I've done it before, but I'm always looking for new ways of doing it. The way that I found completely didn't work. But I started making some stuff in Pro Builder first. I knew I wanted to do like something that was more realistic. So I went to textures.com. If you guys don't know, textures.com has some really great textures that are for free. So it gives you like normal maps and the height maps and all that stuff. And with Pro Builder, it's like really easy to make buildings that look cool. And then I looked for a picture of an old URT television, and I used this thing called Materialize, so I could add some normal maps and stuff and make it look a little bit nicer. And then I just multiplied the TV screen like a million times, added some emissive material to a few things, and then what I really wanted to do was mess with this new program that I've been playing with, called Character Creator. So it's like to make these like really realistic characters. You just like grab onto things and you just like use the shapes of them, and then you could like add wrinkles and stuff to them. It's really kind of it's seemingly like very simple, and the first couple times I used it, I thought it was kind of limited actually, but you could actually go in there and just like start sculpting too if you wanted to. If you wanted to like edit the actual mesh, you could go in there and like it has like actual sculpting tools. It has all these rigging tools. If you know how to use like ZBrush and stuff, it works really great with ZBrush. You could import and export really easily. So I wanted to actually try to use this with the game. I made a couple of characters, and then I imported them into Unity. Made this guy too. So Random Strat Productions did the audio. Let me just close this really quick. The two songs that you're gonna hear in there, and Olivia Vidas. She did the voice of the old lady. This is my second time working with her. She's great. She's got like a really good range for voice and acting, and she's got a really quick turnaround time. And she'll give you like all these multiple takes, which is really, really great. So I did pretty much everything else. Hopefully some audio will come through here and you guys can tell me. Can you guys hear that?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Yep.
So I did the voice of the guy carrying the axe. So if you hear my voice twice. Idea was I was gonna have something at the beginning explaining what the game was about, or maybe even a menu at the beginning. But I didn't get around doing that, so he just says randomly that he's looking for his son. And then this old lady kind of is taunting you through the TV that she has your kid.
You want to watch?
Am I on video?
You will be if you move any
Didn't really
further.
have a direction for what I wanted to do with this. At some point, you didn't have a weapon; it was just walking. But then there was, it just didn't feel
audio to go through the speakers easily, so I'm just.
And even now, I feel like maybe it could have a little bit more gameplay.
Sorry, this took so long. She wanted a nap early, and yeah. Oh, she's got tears.
Just want to see her for a little bit.
I love the TVs.
Well, let me know what you think.
Okay, well, thanks.
also not very long, so I don't know if I should just. I'm like pretty much almost to the end. Didn't have time to add hands to the main character, but imagine that he has hands.
It's so spicy. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
What is it exactly? It's rice and vegetables in the...
Yeah, but I made the rice with juices from the Al Pastor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it's fine.
I couldn't really come up with an ending. I had an ending in mind, but there was no way I was going to be able to do it. So I just threw a bunch of enemies at you.
Is my audio on right now? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much the whole game there. I accidentally clicked on the exit button somehow, but that's pretty much the end.
I love the lighting effects.
I was actually going to ask, how did you get the light to emanate from the TVs?
So I turned the emission all the way up, and then I just added like a point light close to them. I was able to, because I kind of know where the character's coming from, like what direction the character's coming from. I was able to sometimes use one point light for like multiple TVs, so it looks like they're all glowing, but it's just really just one point light. Yeah, and a lot of reflection probes.
I like how you handled it throughout the game, especially the part where you see a little kid with the mask. It made me think of that one scene in Bioshock, maybe Bioshock 2, where all the lights go off and all the nurses attack you. But yeah, good job.
Yeah, I felt it was like a little bit like Bioshock when I was doing it. I just kind of try to lean into that. I haven't played it in a long time, so hopefully I didn't copy something. I'm sure I copied a lot of things.
The old-timey, creepy recording piano like player piano music. When you first see the child in the mask and then he disappears and all the TVs come on. That's a really good effect there.
Yeah, so Random Strap Productions, he sent me a message on Discord, and he's like, I want to do music. So I just told him to make something that wasn't scary, something that would be that would juxtapose the scariness of the game. I didn't really tell him what to do or like didn't really give him any more examples other than that, something that just was the opposite of scary. And he came out with that, and I thought it was perfect.
Yeah, it's really, really effective.
What technique did you use for the destructible boards?
So, I created a health script because I thought at some point I thought there was going to be like a bunch of enemies. And so in the health script, just when the health reaches 0, it destroys the object and instantiates a new object. And so that object was just the same boards cut into little pieces, and they just had rigid bodies and they just fall down. There's also like a particle effect in there that uses the same texture as the boards, which is actually just cubes like flying everywhere.
Alright, so Super Soul and I made a game based on force perspective. It's called Perspective Loss. So here's the first level, which is kind of like a tutorial. So you look at the telescope, you get it just right. And we spent a lot of time just getting the mechanics together and modeling that telescope, so don't have a lot of levels. That's the game.
Well, I think that's really cool.
I'll just start up again because I feel like I went through that pretty fast, being the developer and knowing where all the answers are, you know. Yeah, but this is, I guess, the first time I've used Unity in a long time or done anything 3D. Mostly been doing Godot stuff. Super Soul, do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, I didn't have a ton of time this weekend, but was able to kind of get a simple script up and running so that Robbie could kind of get things aligned and get this test telescope kind of our main scene. And it took, I think, a decent amount of time to tune all the settings and things and try to make it so it wasn't so hard to move in the right spot and see the right angle. But there's definitely some more work that we could do on trying to make the detection more flexible. And the movement right now is kind of pretty fast. So you end up jumping back and forth between sort of where you're wanting to be. But we ended up having this kind of tolerance here, and then it'll shift this perspective to be ideal angle once you get close enough. So.
And look just the right.
Yeah,
I believe that's one of the diversifiers.
What was the diversifier?
There's a diversifier this year where I think it's something like the outcome of the game is determined by your perspective. Like it's literally inspired by this sort of mechanic, I think.
I don't think we intentionally did that, but we'll check it.
Yeah, I forgot what made me think of it. I know I was definitely inspired by that Superliminal game, which is basically like Portal except for perspective puzzles.
This one's my favorite game.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. It was actually pretty easy to chop this up. Like we spent all the other time on the other level, but it's like we need another level that actually like uses the mechanic instead of just teaching it. So I just whipped this together in Blender, and the trick is if you scale from the relative to the camera position, then everything stays the same way. So I just made the model and then just started scaling everything. So that's a trick. But yeah, that's the game.
Do you have a plan to turn this into something bigger?
Maybe. I definitely intended something bigger when I decided to start the idea, but this is all we got done on the weekend.
I think it's cool now that we have a process. It's kind of like took us the whole weekend to get a good process now that you could really kind of make a lot of levels and experiment with different positions and stuff. It'd be fun to keep adding levels.
Yeah,
we kind of had the idea of trying to chain together the objects that you're putting together in some kind of story, you know, but we didn't really get enough of those. But that would be fun to kind of explore what kind of objects and words you put together and have some narrative with it.
sort of a path opens up as you find these places to these words to put together and all that.
It was really cool. It reminds me of a game called Vignettes that I've played that it really just has one object that you rotate and you try to get it into the right position. But I think that this has a lot of potential as far as like the separate pieces. Yeah, it's very cool.
I can imagine there being certain puzzles in a game like this that might take you hours to figure out, and you might have to come back to it several times before you figure out the trick, you know. And that would be a really cool experience to solve such a puzzle, right? So
One of the like pieces you could see like from the beginning of the first level, and then once you're at the end, you actually see those pieces come together. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
Or you could just completely troll the player and have like pieces all over the level, and you're thinking, okay, I need to like stand in one corner and look at this and try and figure out which corner it is. I need to, you know, figure out where I'm able to see it, and the actual trick is to stand in one corner and then look away from everything else and out into the rest of the game world.
I think that was cool. Like, are all the pieces fit together, or are there extra pieces that are just kind of it's noise or stuff that you have to figure out what's actually important to put together? It could be a lot of different kind of puzzles and different experiences that you could put together and have the player go through. So I think it's a cool idea. It would be fun to keep going with it.
Great job.
Thanks.
Well, does that make everybody?
You guys ready to go?
Yeah, squirrel
team.
Oh, right. The tree and the squirrel game. Do y'all have a title?
Squirrel Quest.
Squirrel Quest.
Squirrel Quest. Nice. All right, go for it.
And I'll go ahead and share the screen.
Yeah, so our game is Squirrel Quest. You play as a squirrel who had a fun night and kind of forgot where he or she misplaced their favorite acorn, and your job is to go explore and find that by traveling upwards a giant tree that goes into space. So you start at the bottom and start playing.
Is the audio coming through?
No, unfortunately.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna fiddle with this for just a second because I've had audio work in the past, and Jason's music is really, really good.
Yes. Changes as you go up the tree, and it fits the gameplay and art style really well. But yeah, our team was pretty big. We had Alex, Meta, and I work on character art, props, environmental art, and we went with a pixel art style, which was the most pixel art I've ever done for any project for a game. So it was cool to practice pixel art in Photoshop and learn some new tricks in there. Let's see.
I wonder if you have to download the desktop app to get it.
I'm on the desktop app. And if you can see, I can even get the Discord overlay working in the game.
Do we need Alan to download it and play it?
I was gonna say, do we want Alan to do it? Since apparently the only consistent thing is Alan.
I would guess. I mean...
Shoot, 1 second. I stepped away.
Are you
Sorry.
up for that, Alan? Are you up for playing this game, Alan? So that they have audio?
Sorry, 1 second, 1 second. Yeah, I can play it. Sorry, I stepped away. Where can I download it?
I posted a link for the game. If their build is up to date, I posted it. Oh wait,
there it
audio.
goes.
Oh, there's audio.
I can hear.
I turned the capture audio from applications off and on again, and then I switched to focus on the application. Okay, so this is Scroll Quest.
Yeah,
I can't
so
see it though.
CD and Nikhil handled the code and programming. They made this game work.
I was looking away for a moment. Can you
Am I
see
the only
the
one
game?
that can't see it?
Can't see it?
I can see it.
I see it.
Can everyone see how bad I am?
I can't see it on Discord, but I can see it on the Twitch. So I'm just gonna look on Twitch.
I see. Yeah.
So, Zach, you and Alex want to talk a little bit about it while I try not to die?
Yeah, so your goal is to travel up this humongous tree and try to get your lost massive acorn back. And as you traverse up this tree, you avoid some beautiful yellow beetles. And your goal is to beat this mean squirrel who got on the elevator first and doesn't want to let you on with them. So you have to travel up the tree by climbing. So yeah, we have, I guess, 3 levels to the game, and it changes. The art assets change as you go up. First level has no branches. Second level, some vines start spawning. Third level, I think the vines stop spawning, and then you start getting into the no atmosphere zone. So as you can see, you're winning and you're beating the mean squirrel.
And
Alex, you want to say
I
anything?
don't really have much else to add. I was relatively hands-off with this game. I just did the character art. And so I could talk about the process of designing squirrels. I looked at a photo of a real squirrel and said, I'm gonna make this but like a cartoon squirrel, and I did. Same with the beetles. That was my creative process. Thank you.
But yeah, we did have a few more ideas and some art that did not get utilized, but
There were a
it's
lot more ideas.
It's normal. That's what happens.
Did you have different tree sections that are sort of randomly generated off screen?
Yeah, right now there's, I believe we just ended up with 4 different sections of like half trunk, like you can see this circle reappearing periodically on each side. So there's 4 different variations for each side. There are 5 different branch variations for each side, and there are 3 different vine variations for each side. And it is set up to, like, we could have easily added a lot more, but time.
Is there an end?
There is an end. It's basically that. Originally we were planning on having a nice fancy animation about recovering the acorn, but game jam and time limits.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I was gonna say right now the only thing is you get this victory screen, which is not coincidentally very similar to the death screen. And you get the full soundtrack added to playing rather than in-game where you have different segments of the music playing depending where you are on the tree.
Is Jason going to make this music available for download?
I'd like to work on it a little bit more first, but sure.
Sure.
I had on Wednesday night when we started talking about ideas for this, the team told me, okay, so we're looking for something. We've got this idea of a squirrel climbing a tree to space. And like, okay, I can work with this. So, just something in general, just very mischievous, very playful, that opens up more as it goes along. There's unfortunately a section we haven't heard in the middle here yet, where you get that clarinet melody repeated, but it gets passed back and forth between horns and oboes and the clarinet. And you get fuller strings and some percussion accompaniment as well. So yeah, it was a lot of fun to work on this one.
Yeah, unfortunately, a few sections ended up having to get left out, and then there's just the fact that the tree is relatively small compared to the length of the music.
Yeah. But I mean, that's Game Jam. So,
that's Game Jam, yeah.
That's Game Jam.
Originally, the plan, almost everything. Oh, that's close. Everything,
yeah, nice
everything except the sky. You can see the background parallaxing. Everything except the sky background is set up to allow infinite expansion. So right now, this tree is 100 meters tall, or about 300 some squirrels tall. Yeah, a little more than 300 squirrels tall. This was the kind of math I was doing all weekend.
I love it. You can go out on branches too. Try that.
Yeah, oh yeah. You can run on. Originally, we were going to have like other acorns and whatnot hanging on branches. So it is fully possible to, once I get back up to the area with branches.
Was the cannon on top of the elevator also meant to fire at you as you're going up the tree?
Yes. So the other squirrel is not only so evil as to see branches. Yeah.
Hey.
As far as you can go. Cool. Every so much time spent on getting accurate collision for these. That's Game Jam. Yes, the cannon was originally meant to be firing at you because the squirrel's not only so evil as to not hold the door for you when they got on the elevator, but they're gonna try and knock you off the tree as well. They were also planned like traps and whatnot, acorn bombs because of course whatever weapon would an evil squirrel use.
I saw the art in the Discord for like the claw that was reaching out of the tree.
Oh yeah, those spiders that are meant to live in here, and they reach out claws to grab. grabby. This tree was going to end up a lot spookier, but
Oh,
game
yeah.
jam.
It sounds like a lot of nasty challenges.
Yeah. And then apart from that sky in the background, it could in theory be like the tree could be made infinitely tall. The original idea
Yeah.
was for an infinite runner, except
Yeah.
a squirrel on a tree, and not infinite because we wanted an ending. But otherwise than that, an infinite runner. Yes. So, Zach, Alex, you all got anything else to say?
I think all has been said.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me work with you guys on it. And
Thank you for the music.
Thanks to Verlath and Waking Forest for letting me work with you guys on the Grabby Crabby as well. That was a lot of fun to work for. That was a lot of work. Both songs I worked on for this jam were a lot of fun for me to work on. So it was very enjoyable.
Some of the best
Thanks for
music I've
joining us.
part of.
Thought that beetle was about to go under a branch. But no, he decided that was not the branch for him.
I did see a beetle go onto a branch.
Yeah, they can. It's just unlikely.
Which is cool.
And really unfortunate if we had actually put like collectibles at the end of some branches, and then a beetle got there, because right now you only have one hit point.
Man, that was perfectly timed with the music right there.
Yeah.
That time it was, yeah.
Yeah.
No, originally I did have plans to make proper use of the entire song, all the parts you so nicely split up for us, and all sorts of ideas about timing it to properly fit the gameplay. But
Yeah, dynamic music is a really cool concept in game development and worth exploring.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Which reminds me of something else we didn't get to, was we wanted a narration, and we would be tying narration and the music to new events, like, oh, you've discovered your first beetles, or oh, you've discovered your first branches.
That looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed with what everybody was able to get done. Like, it just looks like. So I was wondering if the coordination would be trickier, but it seems like you all were able to make some really cool stuff.
Y'all were delightfully self-motivated.
Yeah.
I think it was really nice that we got to have the two groups together, because it seemed like we had a good crossover between people that knew how to do like programming or art or music. So it was good to collaborate this year where we're so tough to get people online. So it was good to have everyone together. So it's cool.
I'm also going through the site organizer Slack, and I just found out that one of the jam sites in Brazil had 375 participants.
Oh wow.
This year. Which sounds stressful.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I know St. Louis gets a lot of people for Global Game Jam, like 250 or something sometimes.
Brazil always gets a ton. Every year. It's Brazil, St. Louis, some sites in the Middle East, and some other places. They always get, like, a lot.
I have a feeling this is going to have a lasting impact on game jams in the future, because it makes people connect in ways they couldn't before. Some people don't want to go to a live space and do a game jam.
Some people can't. Like, that's the thing. It makes it more accessible to people who otherwise couldn't go to a physical space for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there are good and bad things about it. I think for me, bad because when I'm working at home, there's like so much more to distract me, as opposed to like if I was in Warp Zone where I have like my table. If you saw me set up at like Global Game Jam 2019, I had like my table with the keyboard and everything, and then there was nothing else that I just had to sit there and write music. But the nice thing about this format was like, compared to the one I did in person at Warp Zone, every group just had their own little spot within the space, and they were all working on their one project. And with this, it was like you could see updates from everybody. You could keep tabs on how everybody was coming along as the event went on, which I thought was really nice because it let more groups like collaborate with one another if they could offer help on an issue or something like that.
Yeah, that was interesting because I saw that people were kind of all using the same channel on Discord to talk with their teams. And at first I was thinking, like, should I help people like make channels to split out? But then we didn't have a huge amount of people, so it worked fine, and it was really nice to see what everybody else was doing. So yeah, what you said, I think it was very cool.
It was also nice to see the interconnectivity. Like, it had never occurred to me before that it would have been an issue that we had people working on multiple sites. That has never happened before.
Yeah.
Like,
it's never been able to happen before.
Yeah.
At least not around here.
The poor lady at the Global Game Jam site was like, what? Why?
Because we can.
I just used the excuse of musician. Which went over okay, but like that's that was fun. It was nice to like actually like make games across the state. We are truly a state organization.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to work with people I've never gotten to work with. Like, I don't know when I would have gotten a chance to work with Lexington people before this weekend.
So sounds all of this and seeing all the games that you all were able to make, it is a big success, in my opinion. So let's do our traditional thing where we have a round of applause for everybody who made a game. People on the Twitch are clapping too. And then Glenn, you were about to say something before I cut you off there. Sorry.
Yeah. I regret not asking Jason for music for my game. I used the Teddy Bear Waltz from Kevin MacLeod in Comptech.
It fit perfectly with your game. It really did.
Yeah. I'm not terribly great with teams in general, so that's why I usually like to work alone, but I've worked with musicians in the past, and it's easy because you could just ask for a song with this or that style and then leave them alone. But yeah, I'd love to work with you in the future, Jason, on upcoming jams and such.
I just feel kind of lucky about this one because I think 2 was just about the right number for me, given day job and everything else that was going on this weekend. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. But it's a lot in a good way.
Yeah. And it turned out really well. I mean, everything was great. Cool.
And this isn't even all the games, by the way. We had like 3 additional games that just appeared on the Run Jump Dev site.
Okay.
That are not in here. Like Randall turned one in. Michael, who's I think he's in India right now. No, he's in Thailand. Technically, but he might be like asleep right now.
Right. Totally different time zone.
Yeah, which is why he was appearing at weird times in the chat.
Yeah.
So we have other people too, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
But yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to throw that out there. There are other people who didn't even make it to the final meeting that did in fact make games.
That's cool.
So the games are on like the Run Jump Dev or the Warp Zone sites on Game Jam. So if we want to check them out, they're there.
Yeah, and that's if you're in the Discord, that's in the #info thing. Okay. And if you're not, then it's just on the Global Game Jam site. If you're looking at site locations, just type in Kentucky. We are the only 2 locations.
Yeah. That was the easiest way to find us. Just KY.
It was. Look for Kentucky. We're the only 2 locations.
Yeah, because unfortunately there are Louisvilles and Lexingtons in other states.
We haven't killed them yet.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks everybody for participating, and I think we adapted well, and yeah, I'm interested to see what parts of this we want to carry forward to future ones, even when we can be in person. You know, I think that this, I mean, obviously when things are safe, people are going to want to hang out together in person again, but you know, we could probably incorporate a lot of this. So yeah.
Kentucky Fried Pixels.
Yeah. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if things things go well. We'll see.
If
But
you all know any other Kentucky developers that are not currently in the Discord, please invite them.
definitely.
We would love to have more people in the Discord. This is the warp. Previously this was the Warp Zone Discord, but we just sort of pushed this out like as the Kentucky Games Discord like 2 weeks before the event, right, Alex?
Yeah.
So this is just, we don't have like a ton of like, we could have more people here. I know there are more developers in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anybody from Bowling Green's in here. No one from Northern Kentucky University.
I was really on board with the idea of using Discord because I've been wanting to. Some of us in Louisville Makes Games have been wanting to switch to Discord instead of our Slack, and this is a good test run for it. And I think that we're going to start bringing kind of making duplicates of some of the other channels that we have and stuff like that over on the Discord and see if it works out. Because I know a lot of people always have to have Slack open, so it's one more thing to have open. But I feel like Discord has some advantages, so we'll see how it goes.
I use Slack for work, so like anytime I don't have to have Slack open, I don't want to have Slack open.
Yeah, I feel like yeah, I've got several. Yeah, I have Slack and Teams both open for work things, and that's already a lot of things. But yeah, well, cool. Go play some of the games. Post a link to your game directly in Discord or Slack or wherever you can, so that people can go check it out if you haven't already posted a link already. And I'd like to try to get a like a blog post out soon with like all of the games so people could see them all in one place since we have the two sites. And yeah. Also check to see if Jupiter Hadley or any other YouTubers that play Global Game Jam games are doing lists that you can apply for your. You can like join a Google form list, usually with Jupiter Hadley's YouTube channel, and then she'll play all the games on the list, and that's a nice way to get some feedback too. There are a couple other people that do Global Game Jam videos and Ludum Dare videos, but if I see any links to those, I'll post them in the Discord and the Slack too, so you can get some. It's always fun to see somebody play your game who you don't know.
And jam reviewers are always the nicest video content people, generally. Like, I've never had a bad jam reviewer.
Yeah, the worst thing that can happen with Jupiter Hadley is she plays it for a little while and then says, next.
Yep.
But yeah. Congrats, everybody. You did a great job. I was just, I was trying to see if I could get Kara to watch it too, but I couldn't get the audio set up. But I'm going to have to show her the stream later because all the games turned out really good. Sweet.
Everyone go to IHOP now, but not really.
Yeah.
Just,
I was actually thinking about
In spirit.
getting Dairy Queen Blizzard. So if y'all do that too, you don't have to get out of your car. And yeah, it was really fun just seeing everybody too. Like a lot of times we see us Louisville people see the Lexington people when we go to like conferences and stuff, and none of that's been happening since January last year. So it's always good.
Whole year.
Yeah, a whole year. So we've still got our space at Warp Zone, so we'll have to. We've been paying rent on it, so it'll still be there when we get back. It might just smell a little funky. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining. And I had a question about the VOD on Twitch. With our account, we can have the VOD I think for 14 days, but I'm going to have it up permanently. The recording of this on YouTube, so you can check that out. And then, yeah, I think that's it. Does anybody else have anything else? I think we're good.
Good work, everyone.
Have a great night.
Good to see you all.
Get some rest. Bye.
Believe me, I will.
Yeah. Bye, Twitch. Y'all can still hear me even though everything's turned off.